Hey everyone, and welcome to Let Me Ask You This. This is our new question and answer show that we want to have a little bit of fun with. So we realize that everyone here at Dark Oak Media, between all of us, everyone involved in the productions, we have over a dozen degrees. So we thought it'd be fun to figure out if everybody here was actually smart or just a bunch of smart asses. So to help figure that out, I have consulted the Tome of Knowledge and pulled out a bunch of questions that we're going to have a little bit of fun with tonight. Before we get started, I want to introduce my teams up here that have joined me tonight. Over here on my right, we have Tom and Christy. Yes, wave to everyone. Over here on my left, we have Claire and Angel. I thought we'd come up with some witty names for the teams, but we just didn't do that. So we're just going to
We're brilliant but lazy.
Yeah. So I have once again this week for everyone consulted our Tome of Knowledge. Pulled out a bunch of questions I think we could have a lot of fun with. So no touching the tome. Only I may touch the tome.
Do you need a moment?
There's a lot of knowledge in here. A lot of fun facts. So
How much time did you spend on Wikipedia?
none actually. I cite my own sources.
Typical man.
So let's get everybody started. My first question that I have for everybody tonight is, who here has been brainwashed?
You.
Do you think it's just me?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff, that's your answer.
That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
I mean, I worked in talk radio for several years, so maybe.
That's a possibility.
I like that.
Okay. So oddly enough, Tom, your snarkiness is actually closer to what the actual answer is.
Of course it is.
So we all think of brainwashing. What do we think?
North Korea. MK Ultra.
MK Ultra. We think
Fox
politics.
News.
We think
Basically anything from elementary school onwards.
Advertisement.
advertisements. Well, that's just things like that. But no, that's not what I'm going for. Because as with all things, I'm being very cheeky with these answers. And in a literal sense, if you want to know who has been brainwashed, the answer is everybody. Reason is, sleeping cleans your brain.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you sleep, cerebrospinal fluid will flush through your brain, and it'll take away all the toxins and other protein buildups throughout the day. So anytime you go to sleep, you get brainwashed.
I was thinking everybody.
It's why it's important to go to sleep and get as much as you need, because we all know what happens when you don't flush for too long.
It's also a prevailing theory that when you're having particularly messed up dreams, the brainwashing process is happening during your REM phase, so you're getting all of those really weird things happening at once because your brain's going, I don't need this, and throwing it out.
They told me those because I ate cheese. Not that it stopped me.
Oh, yeah?
So, Claire, real quick question for you. Are you freaking psychic? Because the next question is about cheese.
I like cheese.
My whole life revolves around cheese, like, it's not hard.
Seriously,
I
though.
mean, look at me.
The next question I have on here, don't look
If the
at it.
answer
But-
is cheese, the question...
You want to try that again?
Yes, I do. If
Okay.
the question is cheese, the answer is yes.
Okay, there we go.
Here,
Absolutely.
my kind of lady.
Cheese and garlic.
Oh, okay. So, speaking of cheese, why can't we help but love cheese?
Because it loves us back.
Because it's tasty.
In a way, you're right.
It's like
This-
a warm
this-
hug.
The aroma is psychoactive.
You guys are all really close in the ballpark
I
here.
was going to say it has to do something with the enzymes that are being used in the processes of making the cheese.
It's not.
That allow for
You're
the
close.
sensation of, yes.
It's not the stuff in the process of making the cheese. It's actually something that's in the cheese itself.
It's a psilocybin.
It's cultured.
It's tasty.
So many cultures some people have.
This cheese went to school.
It has more degrees than us.
Ooh. This cheese went to Harvard, Yale, and Brown. But we don't talk about Brown.
But,
No,
some of it's just so blue.
Oh. So cheese has a chemical in it called, and I kid you not, casomorphin. Casomorphin actually.
That's my next band name.
It's a good name. Casomorphin actually is able to cross the blood-brain barrier and activate the dopamine receptors in your brain. It's actually similar to heroin, in a way. So eating enough cheese actually not only will get you addicted to cheese, but will activate the parts in your brain that go, ooh, I like this.
Which is actually when they tell people, if you're trying to go to bed, don't eat cheese before bedtime.
Which is why you had those nightmares.
Because the dopamine is just going off.
Dopamine and serotonin, the only two things we love. But yeah, there are certain cheeses do have more amounts of the casomorphin, but it's one of those things where we never really think about it, but we just go, cheese? Cheese.
Who's got the most casomorphins? Like, who's gonna wreck me?
Queso, what else?
But what kind? That doesn't narrow it down, my dear.
Here's the thing, I deliberately did not write that down because I don't want a whole bunch of people going out and going, give me that cheese!
That's
I
just
did
me
that
at
with
Carroll.
coffee.
I know you do that with coffee.
We're having a conversation after this is over.
We can have a conversation, that's fine.
And you know cheese is a drug because you tell yourself, I don't want this, I don't need to put this in my body, but I'm gonna.
Who says that?
I don't know.
People who have not had enough casomorphin
It's
to hit that, to get the
like
shakes.
I know I'm
buying
gonna
the
regret
frozen
it.
pizza and putting more cheese on top of the pizza because it
Well,
needs it.
yeah.
Unless unless you're lactose intolerant, then you're like, no cheese.
No, you just get the bottle of lactase and deal with it.
Absolutely.
We talked about brainwashing before, and some of you guys did mention advertising. And that did make me want to ask a quick question. We're going back to advertising. What was the first toy that was ever advertised on TV?
I wasn't born then.
Wasn't the
Tom?
ball? It was.
Tom, you were there.
Yeah.
It was actually really something
I
very
need to go 1v1.
mundane. It was like a ball, or it was like the slinky, it was something really mundane.
truck?
It
Hoop and
wasn't-
stick.
A truck?
It was on a truck. It was on a poop and stick?
Hoop and stick.
Oh, the hoop and stick.
Actually, it was a can because you can kick it down the street.
A doll?
Come on.
Not quite a doll.
A
Oh,
teddy
teddy
bear.
bear.
No, not a teddy bear.
Puppet?
Not a puppet.
Marionette?
Marionette's a kind of puppet.
Was it a sock in somebody's hand?
That's also a kind of puppet. So no, it's
Just
not.
had to ask.
I know doll, you say. So.
This is a toy that has been prolific in pop culture for a number of years.
Never Raggedy Ann and Andy.
No, this predates Raggedy Ann and Andy.
Sock monkey thing?
Oh,
Nope.
like the Cabbage Patch Kids?
Nope,
Oh,
that
no,
was,
Lord,
that's-
that's
that's-
too new.
So this
I remember
particular
those.
toy has been referenced in a lot of different pop culture movies and shows. In fact, there's a series of computer animated movies that are a kind of story about toys that we're not going to say the name of because they haven't paid us for it. Where this toy is a character in the movie.
It's like a, I mean, cowboy of some sort, or...
And
I'd almost go with Mickey Mouse, but
no, not you.
Not a
A
Pinocchio.
doll?
It's not a Pinocchio. So if you really wanted to with this particular toy, you can change out certain parts
I
of
was about to
it.
say, is it Mr.
Mr.
Potato Head?
Mr. Potato Head.
because originally it was made with they gave you the plastic, you used a potato.
Exactly. I did. I
It's
even
been a
marked
while,
down-
okay? I ate the bloody potato.
I
Oh, I love
even.
eating the potatoes.
I eat it.
Oh,
Now Mrs. is a widow.
so good.
I'll just
No, I ate that one too.
Oh, thank God.
Both potatoes, that's it, they got fried.
They're together.
They're together.
Yeah, the first toy advertised was Mr. Potato Head, and it very specifically said potato not included,
Yeah.
which made me giggle so much when I first saw that.
And during
That
times
comes
of
back
famine,
to
it's
me
definitely
now.
true.
That does come back to me.
I had a Mr. Potato Head. My sister wanted the Mrs. Potato Head, but my mom just took like nail polish, painted parts of the Mr. Potato Head.
I heard that they've come out with different ethnicities of Mr. Potato Head now.
Well, I'm
In
sure
missions.
yam, tuber,
One of those purple potatoes.
gourd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the purple ones. Well, speaking of various different colors, that does give us really good segue. You're just like feeding me segues, which is great. I'll
That's
pay
what I'm
you.
here for.
I'll pay you after the show.
Yes.
So, Captain Crunch. Why was Captain Crunch brought to court over his crunch berries?
Oh, that's a good.
Because they were disgusting.
No.
Oh,
They were not made of fruit,
No
and they were
berry-
not crunchy.
You're super close.
No berries in them.
You
Yeah.
guys are kind of you're getting on the right track here. So it turns out that a woman sued Captain Crunch for false advertising because she said that the crunch berries were not made using real crunch berries.
What's a real crunch
I'm
berry?
gonna give you a second. I'm gonna give you guys a second on that one.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Okay.
So
Were they from Memphis?
Ooh.
So the great thing is, the judge that was presiding over the case, he threw the case out for the very specific reason of, and I quote, "There's no such thing as a crunch berry."
I like to imagine he said this as he like pulled a full bowl of crunch berries out from beneath his robe and just starts.
Just starts cashing that check from General Mills, going, "There's no such thing as a crunch berry." I don't know why the judge was old British.
It had to be.
And I will give bonus points to whoever knows the next bit of the question here. What is Captain Crunch's full name?
Marvin.
Captain Marvin Crunch?
No, it's Reinhold.
No, it's not Reinhold.
Disgraced ex Captain Crunch.
No,
He was demoted.
he's a children's mascot. So
Captain Kid Crunch.
His first name had to be Barry.
you're okay. You're a little bit closer. Captain Crunch is named after famous explorers because it's a kid cereal. So his full name is Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch. It's important stuff we're learning on this
HM
show.
Crunch.
Well,
Alrighty.
They should put an S in there.
Yep, exactly.
for Shackleton.
Yeah, HMS Crunch.
Yeah.
And then he can have like a frosted one for
Yeah.
the Arctic expedition. And every time you eat it, you get lost.
In the flavor. Write me a check for that one, General Mills.
Yes, please.
Is Mills a general? What's his name?
I don't know. It's not in my book. It's not in the
Get
tome.
on it.
Well then, we have sped through our first round of the night, which is you guys are doing pretty good. I know somewhere someone is keeping points, but that's not me. So
Whoever
speaking
you are,
of
comment
points,
below.
our next round, we are heading into round 2, which is our bluff round. Before the show, I gave each of our teams a card that has a question on it. The question has the actual answer, and then the teams each wrote 2 additional answers. Each team is going to read their question to the other team. The other team is going to try to guess it. If the other team guesses correctly, they get points. If they guess incorrect, the reading team gets points. So, since someone is so eager to go, Tom and Christy, please read your question.
yeah.
I'll be a gentleman.
I'll be the first.
I know.
Speed of a computer mouse is measured in what units?
Okay. What are the options for answers?
Volts, minis, and mickeys.
Speed of a computer mouse is measured in what units? Waltz, minis, or Mickeys?
Minis.
Minis. You want to confer with your your partner there?
Minis does sound like something that could feasibly be considered computer terminology, but I also wouldn't put it past some jerk programmer to be like, we're going to measure this in Mickey's. So I don't know. And it's waltz as in Walt, spelled that way, is the other option, right?
WAT.
That's what's on the card. I don't have the card. These guys have the card right now. Now they know what it's
Spelling.
like to have the power.
Waltz.
Yes.
What's the spelling?
SWALTZ.
T what?
TZ.
Z.
So waltz.
That's the fancy way of saying Z.
Uh-huh.
Now that
So
makes
that's
sense.
waltz, so no, I don't
Interesting.
agree with that.
Huh.
Be a waltz in the park.
As long as it's in 3/4.
What are you gonna do with a computer mouse in the park?
Whatever you want.
I'm not telling.
I don't wanna know.
I would just run
I'm
up.
going with
I would
I
just run
trust your
up.
judgment tonight.
We're gonna go with minis.
You go with minis?
You know what? I think we slipped them a Mickey.
Okay.
The answer was in fact Mickey's. The speed of a computer mouse is measured in Mickey's.
Never underestimate
Never
some
understood.
programmer
Yeah.
being like,
All right, now, Angel, please, what is your question? Try to bluff these guys.
What is the line that goes through a 7 or 0 called? Answer. Sash dash slash hex.
You added an extra?
Yes, I did.
That's against the rules.
Pirate.
indeed.
I'll remember that.
You gave us guidelines.
Yeah.
See?
So when you're writing out a 7 or a 0, the slash, the mark, the thing that goes through it.
People do that still
Yeah, I do it.
Oh, yeah.
in the year of our Lord 2000 and whatever it is.
Yeah,
Oh, if you look at a European 7, it's got a
Specifically the 7
Yeah,
to do
so it's like, it's
the,
like
yeah,
French
I do the
alphabet.
slash,
Yeah, I
yeah.
just call it the
Someone's
French
gotta.
yeah. So,
What
That's
was
the question.
answer?
what is that called?
What was the
choices?
choices?
Choices.
alphabet.
Sash slash dash hex.
Confer. Take a moment. Because there's, to the best of my knowledge, there's 3 things. Because you got the 7, the 0, and the Z, or the Z, which my handwriting on large is absolutely atrocious.
Mhm.
But
So it happens.
what do you guys reckon? As the time ticks
Tick tock, tick tock.
away. What are we going with?
I'd like to.
I'll let you go with the answer.
We decided that it must be a slasher. Slash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys?
Yeah.
These freaks got it.
Oh!
Get into Halloween, man. Come on, you know?
You guys got
You went
both.
for you went for simplest answer must be the right one.
You guys got
And you
both
were
of the
a simple
points from
Just
the
a
Bluff
simple
Round.
kind of man.
Very good. Very
I like
good,
that
guys. All right, round 3. We're heading to round 3. Round 3, the questions get a little more difficult.
Uh-oh.
Just because I felt
Kind of
like it.
okay.
Prove it.
Okay. I've got them in my hand right here. Smartass.
Yes.
All
All right.
right.
Something about me is.
No touching the tome.
I did nothing.
I see nothing.
So, all the questions in this round are going to have to do with sort of entertainment, sport, gamey things, just to kind of give you a little bit of help here.
We're gonna learn about sport ball.
Well, not quite sport, but entertainment, arts, sport, thing like that. So, getting into it, what is the Mona Lisa's real name?
Claire.
Why are you sucking up to your teammate and not the host?
My eyebrows, even as weak as they are too much.
Because Mona Lisa was female, and I don't believe you are.
No,
Okay.
no, I had to check. I had to.
Janice.
Nope, it is not Janice.
Monique.
It's,
No.
yes, in 15th century Italy, Monique was running around.
It was a certain. It wasn't actually someone.
So the Mona Lisa, one of the most prolific paintings in history, actually much smaller than we think when you see it in real life.
The person wasn't as high up on echelon of quality, if I heard this
I-
right.
So what are we saying over here?
That she wasn't high class.
Are you talking?
The model that was used.
So you're talking about the sitter. I'm talking about the
Yes.
painting itself. What is the painting's actual
Ah.
name?
Oh.
Important distinction.
Okay,
It's not Mona Lisa Smiles.
It is not.
She's almost doing that,
That was
not
a
quite
movie.
that Caucasian smile of, They
Yeah,
do,
no,
and we
we'll-
don't want to be too forward.
I'm pretty sure I went over that in art history class.
Mona Lisa had too much cheese?
Been a couple of years.
If she had too much cheese, that smile would have been way bigger.
Unless she was constipated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mona Lisa is lactose intolerant.
All right, so Mona Lisa, we're going back to 15th century. We're going back to Italy. I'm trying to think of a way.
Marguerite.
No. So the sitter's actual name was Lisa. The sitter's name was Lisa. I have it written on the card here. Lisa Gherardini, and she was the daughter of a silk merchant.
Right.
So the silk merchant had the money, commissioned the painting of her. But the painting itself was not called the Mona Lisa. The reason we have that nickname for the painting today is because it comes from a contraction of a phrase, Mona, which means my lady. People would go by the painting and they would go, hey, that's my lady Lisa. And over the years, people calling it Mona Lisa, it just became the lexicon for it. But that's not the actual name for it. The actual name for it, I'm going to reverse engineer it to kind of give you guys a chance to get to it.
I mean, I'm guessing it's the girl who's sitting.
The actual name for it comes from the Italian word jocund, which means jovial. The smile is, a lot of the features of Mona Lisa over the years have faded due
The happy
to
girl.
Jovial girl.
the happy girl. So the happy girl, what would the Italian for that be?
Oh, I'm not Italian.
I can barely speak English, much less anything else.
I know.
I'm from where I'm from. Come on.
The embarrassing part is that I've taken like 4 years of Italian, but the word for happy is actually escaping me in this moment. The one time it could have helped me outside of that country.
So
So jovial, and then the female.
jovial. You guys are getting close to it, but I do have to call it.
Ragazza or something like that.
The actual name for the Mona Lisa is La Gioconda.
Gioconda, yeah.
You want to say that one again?
Gioconda?
Is that how it's actually said?
Gio.
No.
You
No.
want
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Cool.
Give it that. Elizabeth Gio, more like Gio.
So the actual name is what Claire said. And
Don't
yeah,
quote me on that. Italians pretend you didn't hear that.
so it does derive from jocund, meaning jovial. But the actual name to the painting, nobody ever calls it that. So, but if you go to the museum where it is, and you go, La Gioconda, the one docent will be like,
You will be the most insufferable person in that building, and they will love you.
yes. I've actually never gotten to go see the Mona Lisa in person. I would like to, but it's always just so crowded. It has to be kept behind a protective sheet of glass from all the pictures and natural moisture and other stuff that people put in the air. But yes, so moving on from one kind of art to another. How many of you guys are familiar with cards, playing cards?
Sure.
You guys have played a fair amount, I'm sure.
Once or twice.
I feel like that's a lie, but so in a deck of cards, what is unique about the face of the Suicide King?
He's smiling.
No. So in deck of cards, the Suicide King is more commonly known as the King of Hearts, and everybody always sees it. He's got his arm up, and there's a sword. Everyone says going through his head. Otherwise, has the nickname the Suicide King. But what is unique about that?
You mean the one with the mustache?
He's the only one without
the
a mustache.
Oh, that's what it is, yeah.
Very good, yeah. The King of Hearts,
Very good.
only one traditionally drawn without a mustache. One thing I did find out, the sword itself was not originally a sword. It was originally an axe. And the king was hoisting it up behind him. But because of old block printing techniques, how they had a lot of problems with it, the head of the axe came off. And over time, what was the shaft of the axe morphed into a sword. So
was there like an interim period where it was just the shaft and he's bonking himself in the head with a stick?
I don't know, but I really wish. I really wish. Is that? Do you have the deck of cards with the king that's just hitting himself with a shaft? Sir, this is a Wendy's.
You have to go to Chick-fil-A or something like that.
Oh.
They
Specialty
keep that
shops.
hidden in the back.
Is that why when you leave they say my pleasure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so from one handheld game to another, not quite handheld, but game you use your hands for, let's go over to chess. I know there are some people here that are quite familiar with chess.
Nope.
I've already lost.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd say that.
Doesn't it have a checkered board?
It has a checkered past.
Oh,
You set it up.
I did. You noted it down?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't get many.
that's what I've heard.
Oh.
The show is young again.
So, when you are playing chess, what does the phrase checkmate mean?
are you going literal here?
Look at the history of the questions we've had for tonight.
Oh dear.
It means I'm gonna win if I make another move. That's all I know, but
No.
Checkmate is the last move of the game, and checkmate basically means that the opponent's king is not only under attack, but cannot in any way get away. So there's no running away, there's no blocking, and then there's no capturing of the piece that is prolonging the attack to pretty much put them in danger.
Mm-hmm.
So a king that's said to be in checkmate is the end of the game.
as he desperately tries to scoot one square at a time.
No.
Please
if
don't
you-
give
Well,
me.
if you checkmate, there's any move you make means your king gets taken.
Well, no, the
Because your
king
king's
is never
piece is
taken,
pathetic.
that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
But the thing is it doesn't have to be an attack. I mean, there's smothered mates where the king basically has too many people around him, so there's only one way in and out, and that's the
Yeah.
only thing you have to...
Smothered mate sounds like some kind of weird menu at Cracker Barrel.
There's also a back rank mate, I mean, that's...
That costs extra. That-
Yeah.
So the phrase checkmate itself, what do we think that actually means?
Checkmate! Ready to go.
Winner of the night.
I mean, I asked you to go literal or...
Me at the restaurant.
That's my own fault.
It's a compound
That one's my
word.
own fault.
Check and a mate.
That one is my own fault.
Considering how old the game is.
Yeah.
So-
Especially if it's a check, CHEQUE mate.
Oh.
Which it's not.
Right, you said chess.
But so you're onto something there, Tom. So the phrase checkmate actually is an ancient Persian phrase. It's derived from an ancient Persian phrase called shamat, which translates to "the king is dead."
Long live the king.
Exactly.
It's just one of those like you hear. It's just that
Yeah.
immediate call response.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when everyone's like, may the force be with you, and also with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm too Catholic for that.
If anything, that makes you susceptible to it.
Exactly.
So yes, it means the king is dead, which I thought was quite interesting.
I knew that.
Then why didn't you? Okay.
I did. I told you.
Yeah, you did. You brought us through the whole thing,
Yeah.
but you didn't say the king was dead. You said the king
It's
couldn't go anywhere.
implied.
It's not on the card. The card says
Oh my goodness.
The card has the last say.
it does.
Obviously. So says the people who don't play chess. Go ahead.
Yeah, well,
I play chess.
I was on chess team.
I was too.
See?
Chess team in high school
Yeah.
had all the girls avoiding us.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, I went to an all-guys school, so it didn't really matter.
I just kept talking about castling. So.
Always use the same hand.
Good advice.
It's true though. So we are down to our last question of the night. It kind of flew by, guys.
Yes, it did.
So this one, I really enjoyed this fact when I came across it, and I really wanted to share it with you guys, my friends, the people I care about.
He's setting us
Who are
up.
you?
So, what famous historical figure
I know.
was
Jesus.
accused of having a heretical rod?
One of the popes. Well, no, it's not having. Sorry, I was backwards on that.
No, it's not one of the popes. I'll actually have what famous historical American figure was accused of having a heretical rod?
Let's go down the list of U.S. presidents and see where we stop.
You can't just. That's like saying, what letter am I thinking of? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Well, it works.
What? But that's not what we're going for. All right. Let's break it down. Who had a rod? No. Who played with his rod? No.
See?
Superior Herman, yeah, anyway.
Now we're talking cars.
I don't
No.
think that any media people before, like after 1914 would bother to use the word heretical, so that keeps it probably in the
Yeah.
1800s.
Or prior.
Yep,
Yeah.
18 to 17.
So, we
I'll
are
say Andrew Jackson just to roast him.
not Andrew Jackson, but you are in. You're
Who's
in
the
the
one
neighborhood.
that? Who's the one that like
Madison?
whacked a dude in
I don't know.
the Senate with his big stick? I think that was
You're
that.
That was
talking
Roosevelt.
Gary,
Yeah, but that wasn't
I think
heretical.
Roosevelt did it too.
That wasn't considered heresy. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back to the 1700s.
When you.
Let's go back. Which of the founding fathers?
Thomas Jefferson.
No. Which of the Oh, okay. I really
I
thought you
said
guys.
George Washington, but
It's
I
it's
don't
not
know.
it's not George.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's some Hamilton fan in the audience going absolutely ape right now. Because
This
they're-
character wasn't in Hamilton.
It wasn't Hamilton.
I'm making a reference for the kids.
For the youth.
Madison keeps coming to mind with me, but you know,
No.
No.
he had his dolly.
No.
John Hancock?
Not Hancock.
John
So
Hancock having a heretical rod would be very
this
funny.
particular founding father has a whole bunch of patents under his name. They found bodies in his basement. Was part of the Hellfire Club.
That would have to be-
Ben Franklin.
That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
Ben Franklin's lightning rod was considered heresy by the
Of
church.
course.
Considering all the rod
Oh, just wait, I have
shenanigans
all
that
this to
man
go
got
for
up
one
to,
card.
that's
Yeah,
the
no,
heretical
it's-
one.
Yeah, right. Of all the things that he did, not the
Yeah.
Hellfire Club, not the pod, no, it's the lightning rod.
It was science.
So, and that's exactly why.
Yep.
In 1755, there was an earthquake in Cape Ann, and the church blamed the lightning rod for it.
Of course they did.
Very specifically, the priest at the time was railing against this. He didn't like it, and he claimed, and I quote, that the lightning rod interfered with the artillery of heaven and deprived God of using lightning at the tokens of his displeasure.
So you're saying man was stronger than God? Cool.
This guy was
What an
saying,
idiot.
this, well, why did lightning strike my house? God didn't like it. And then Franklin's over there like, no, lightning, here, stick this on your house and your house will be saved.
He's interfering with God's nukes. He's got like the Iron Dome, courtesy of Benjamin Franklin.
He was interfering with divine retribution.
Clearly.
I don't think that the cow in the McKinley's field needed divine retribution.
You don't
Yes,
know what
it
she did.
Yeah.
She wouldn't tip.
No, she was a dirty cow.
Oh.
She wouldn't move.
A lot of bull with this one.
Oh. But yes, I figured you would enjoy that Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin and his heretical rod.
Of all the things that the church hated Franklin for, the lightning rod was the start of it. But
The
what are
French
you gonna
chicks,
do?
on the other hand, loved it.
So, that brings us to the end of the show. Ah, yes, give yourselves a round of applause. Yes. So, our first round of Let Me Ask You This is coming to an end, and after the points have been tallied and totaled, it turns out that Tom and Christy are tonight's winners. Don't worry, you guys will have a chance to go after them next week. You guys will have a chance to defend your title
They don't stand a chance.
when we come up with some more questions.
We're
So,
sitting.
thank you guys for joining us. We hope everybody had a great time. Hope you learned something. Hope you got something to talk about at work tomorrow. And until next time, let me ask you this.